Senior X30, a completely sodden circuit, and Oliver Hodgson and Joe Turney on the front row. Pennell and Porter on the second, from Malin, Stewart, Hudson, Morgan. The O-Plate, Thomas Turner and Saul Robinson round out the top 10. Keep an eye on Elliot Harvey. 13th off the grid is not where he wanted to start from. And further back, Sky Siddle, the rookie, in there with the likes of Ewan Wilson and Henry Laws. Two men definitely up for a scrap in the early stages. Here we go. Joe Turney slots in behind Oliver Hodgson as we go through the chicane for the first time. And everybody getting through safe and sound. Yes, no major problems. So nice and easy considering it's wet. They have all done a good job there. Turney slotting in there into second. Third is Morgan Porter. He's made the jump on Brad Pennell. And up there already, that looks like a very fast starting. Is that the O-Plate of Turner? Well, he's made up a couple of places, certainly, but he's not quite towards the sharp end yet. He's just made the move on Saul Robinson and Archie Tillett to maintain his position towards the lower end of the top 10. So it is Hodgson from Turney in second position. Then it is Morgan Porter. He is the championship leader, Joe Turney, right there behind Oliver Hodgson. Obviously, he's still ruining the day from Lark Hall when he dominated by a country mile and had that technical infringement, which I believe is still being discussed.
Oliver Hodgson puts in a purple sector in sector 1. It's Paul Stewart who's currently gone through the line in 6th place. Where is he? No, he's in 4th place, I beg your pardon. He's put the purple sector in sector 2. And Elliot Harvey now has just put in the purple sector in sector 3.
It's Derek Morgan who's made a cracking start. He's in 5th position. He's up 3 places from the go already as Elliot Harvey and Thomas Turner are rounding out the top 10 further back. They're the details for Paul Stewart. Up from the 3rd row to P4. He's got Derek Morgan right underneath him on the Birrell Arch chassis for the Jade Racing team, trying to move further forward. Brad Pennell in 6th position, having come down from the 2nd row, originally started 3rd. So Pennell's got it all to do, but we've seen already from the first few rounds of this championship that Pennell knows how to go for an overtake. So there's going to be a good opportunity for Brad Pennell to make it back. But as you can see, everybody, no choice now on wet tyres. Nobody's pulling a Jacob McComb in this one.
No, Derek Morgan's made up 3 places from 8th to 5th. But the world champion leads it, Oliver Hodgson. He's got that man right behind him, Joe Turney. Quality, these two out front, no doubt about it. Not only at the British level, but at world level.
Yeah, I think you can put an argument for these two as the best Senior X30 drivers in Great Britain at the moment. And that's only because Ravenscroft isn't eligible for Senior X30s in Britain. He is in Europe, of course, and he's leading that championship against Joe Turney. So, really interesting challenge for the title. There is Morgan, as he now is behind Brad Pennell. So Pennell's made the move for 5th. Behind Morgan, it's Malin, Hudson, Harvey. A man who's had a very difficult start to the year, the O-Plate, Tom Turner, is there in 10th position. That is definitely not where we expected to see him. We thought he'd be a championship contender.
Indeed, indeed. He's not had the best season for Thomas. We know he's got a great deal of quality, but sometimes, ask John Hogan, Jake. John Hogan in TK Extreme. It just never seems to go for John, and that's the sort of season Thomas Turner's having.
9 minutes and a few seconds on the clock, plus the additional lap. Joe Turney still all over the back of Hodgson, who's not getting away. And as Tom Turner now follows in behind Elliot Harvey on the 4-plate, there is still going to be a long way to go in this one for these guys to settle it. Hodgson, Turney, Morgan Porter in 3rd position. Turney's going to squeeze up the inside of Hodgson. Hodgson's going to have to try and get him back on the undercut. And no chance. Joe Turney has made it work.
Quarter of the race gone as they went through the lap, the finish line last time, and 7 seconds separated the top 16. How close do you like your racing?
Very close indeed if you're Senior X30. It is one of the most competitive categories in British motorsport. Never mind British karting. It is absolutely terrific. And in the wet here in particular, we're seeing quite a few drivers come up forward to the party. Now, inside the top 20 is our leading rookie. That is Mo Ibrahim in 18th position. He's jostling in there with the likes of Henry Laws, Ewan Wilson and Levi King. So talk about a hard scholarship into the championship. He's learning by racing against some of the best.
Indeed he is, no doubt about it. Top left of your screen, guys, the virtual championship points, which will change as the drivers go through the finish line. We've got Joe Turney, the leader, who leads the championship by 9 points from the man Morgan Porter in 3rd place currently. Hodgson in 2nd place, now 3rd in the championship after an exclusion at the earlier round.
Yeah, at Lark Hall, he was obviously leading by a country mile, and a technical infringement cost him the victory. And I think there was a lot of ill feeling about that because They are still arguing, I believe, that it's something that's out of Hodgson's control. He didn't exactly do anything wrong on the racetrack, so it's one of those things that's going to be discussed for a few weeks. But the way things are, he's just got to get on with it and pick it up.
I'm not sure whether they've appealed that, to be honest, but anyway, as things stand, Hodgson there in third place, but it's the race leader who leads the championship.
Paul Stewart in fourth position, tucked up behind Morgan Porter, championship leader at 1 point. Now Joe Turney is 9 points ahead if it stays like this. So Porter will want to try and get on terms with Hodgson to try and alleviate some of the damage. The fact of the matter is, even if Porter were to pass both Hodgson and Turney, he still wouldn't take the lead of the championship unless Turney had a nightmare of an end to the race. So Porter needs to push forward, try and get past both of these guys in front of him, potentially with some assistance from Paul Stewart, and then hope that something happens to Joe Turney if he wants to take the lead of the championship back.
Yeah, it would be a massive point swing though. If he got past the two guys in front of him, he'd scored an extra 4 points. That would take him up to 705. Turney would score 2 points less on 708. And if Turney ended up in third, he'd be on 706 and another 1 point lead. So there's all sorts of things going on here with regards to the championship points. But at the moment, these guys in these conditions just want to come out of it. I think they'd be reasonably happy with the championship as it stands if they can come out of this round and move forward to the next round. Joe Turney particularly will be happy because he's got a nice championship points lead.
That's what I love about the Super 1 British Championships. Every round we come to, we watch these championship points, and it's a bit like watching the 2008 Brazilian Grand Prix, how Hamilton and Massa kept exchanging positions on points as the race went on. Every time Hamilton lost a place or gained a place. And it's like this every single round at Super 1. We watch the pendulum swing and the drivers move up and down because it's so close between one position and another, only a couple of points separating the win and second place, and then as you continue to progress down until there's only 1 point between, so it makes it very tight. As up the inside, there's a move from Paul Stewart. He gets past Morgan Porter. Well, that's put the kibosh on Porter getting anywhere close to the leading two.
That will lose him a couple of points, I think. So you should see Porter's score go down to 699, I think it will be.
He comes across the line, we'll confirm it.
Yeah, there you go, 699. So he's lost a couple of points. So that's an extra 2 point championship lead now for Joe Turney. He'll be happy with that.
And Porter will not want to run as low as fourth position for long. He'll want to gain some time. Meanwhile, Elliot Harvey is making light work of things through the field. He's come up to 8th position now.
Again,
it's appalling, isn't it?
Sitting on the lens, and you might wonder, guys, well, why don't the cameraman just wipe the water off? Well, if you do that, the first thing that will happen in the middle of a race is that it will just smear the lens, so you won't be able to see anything, and then you need a dry cloth to wipe it again to make it nice and clear. The first time then he turns round facing the start-finish line, the water will just pool on the lens once more, so it's pretty much no point in the middle of the race in wiping the lens at all.
Yeah, just think of it from the point of view of if you've ever gone on a country walk when it's raining and you've tried to take a picture with your iPhone and it steams out, it's exactly the same principle. So it's not really...
This camera, to be fair, is getting absolutely battered.
It's holding up well, I have to say, considering the punishment it's taking, but then every camera's taking a bit of a punishment today. It's a wonder we've even got a race at all to talk about, because in terms of the drivers on track, it's obviously fantastic, but to be able to see it is very tough. So
and bear this in mind as well.
Oh!
That's Derek Morgan going up the inside, just about makes that work. He's going to hold on to it.
Smallest gap in history he finds on the inside of Brad Pennell. Pennell's not going to surrender.
Is he?
He does make it.
He's not. I think
that is Pennell back through.
Yeah, he's got through.
Well, he obviously thought, well, Derek, that was a little bit cheeky. You squeezed me wide. I'm just going to do the same thing to you. Takes him straight back, and now he's got Lewis Malin and Elliot Harvey for company. Harvey dives up. Harvey dives through, takes the place. And the next one in the line is Thomas Turner, so watch out. He's going to be trying to get on terms with Malin big time.
It's the British Open champion on the O plate. See, he karts with, well, it looks like 0, but it's actually an O. It means they are the British Open champion. And those championships take place over a 1 weekend. These are the British Championships, and this is a series. The O-Plate events take place in kart clubs around the country during the year, different times, and they are basically 1 weekend events.
And of course, that is basically, it makes it the Indy 500 of your class championship in that particular campaign. This year, of course, held at PF International, the British Open for X30. And Tom Turner was the man who walked away from it. It's basically been his highlight of the 2018 season. He's had a miserable run of bad luck other than that weekend, but obviously very, very wet during that weekend at PF International as well. I was in the paddock for the Saturday night of that weekend and we almost got drowned. It was that wet. I mean, it's pretty wet here, but I think it's going to take quite a lot to match that sort of weather at the Open.
Yeah. The problem with the weather here is, as you see, this camera's just getting absolutely hammered. It's not the water, it's fine misty rain, but it's the wind.
Hodgson's lost the place, so Stewart's got through in a second. Watch out for Morgan Porter on the far side. He's going to want to try and get the switch back on Hodgson. He's got a great run, and I'm sure Porter's going to get this one done on Hodgson. Hodgson, absolutely dominant in the first 3 rounds of the championship, struggling here.
Yeah, important for Porter, because that's an extra 2 points for him in the championship. That will move him when he goes across the start-finish line. Watch those championship points update, top left of your screen, guys.
It'll be back to where it was.
Yeah, it'll be back to 7:01. He'll score 2 points more. So as he goes across the start-finish line, so you should see those points change. And it's a fantastic system we have.
I was just going to say, will they?
This Tag Heuer system, you see how many places drivers have made up, and then the points update live. There it is. 7:01 now for Porter. Again, 9 points behind Turney. Turney's got this one won comfortably.
You have a favourite something in all forms of motor racing. It seems slightly nerdy to have a favourite timing system, but I tell you what, this is definitely my favourite. It's got so much versatility.
All the information that you need as a commentator.
Yeah, the info's perfect. I can't go wrong with it. It's absolutely brilliant. So, out in front in the championship and the race, it is Joe Turney disappearing out in front. Second position is still Paul Stewart, although Morgan Porter is taking Oliver Hodgson along with him for the ride, and there's a good chance that Porter may be able to get the switch back in a second. Now, if he does that, that will drop the championship lead from 9 points to 7 points. So Porter is obviously going to want to try and get through as soon as he's humanly. But Hodgson is right there. Oh, there's a spin! Now that is Laws. Laws has gone around and he's gone in there with...
taken with him. That's Levi King.
So King and Laws, what a miserable season Henry Laws is having.
And King had made up 9 places prior to that, Jake. He was the prime mover in the race. He's made up more places before that incident than anybody else in the race.
Yeah, well, the two of them were working through the field pretty much in tandem because both of them had a miserable pre-final. So a real shame that yet again Henry Laws is out of luck. What does he have to do to change his fortunes? Poor Henry Laws, yet again finding himself down the order when he should be around these sort of guys, really.
He should be. It's Ewan Wilson who's made up 8 places. He's the prime mover in the race, made up most places from 23rd to 15th. And Elliot Harvey in 7th started P13. Paul Stewart in 2nd place started 4 place lower than that. He started in P6. So good effort from Paul Stewart today. We're into the last lap.
Yep, Joe Turney just lapping the newbie, that is Sky Siddle, one of the drivers trying to compete for Rookie of the Season, and she's had a not a bad season en route to the championship. Obviously, she's come from a very different scale of motorsport as a race winner in the Birrell Art National Championship, which is non-MSA. So to come straight into MSA level racing, she has actually acquitted herself quite admirably.
I said it before, Jake, I'll say it again, the Super 1 feeder series of it before that.
That's your opinion, and you're sticking to it. Through the S's they come once again, and now this battle for second position is going to go down to the wire, isn't it? Joe Turney has got this race signed, sealed and delivered. It's yours, mate. But second place, Stewart, Porter and Hodgson. It could come from one final banzai move, but Porter, I think, is too far back. It's going to be Joe Turney who takes the checkered flag. A valiant victory and a brilliant effort. Turney wins it. Second place for Paul Stewart in front of Morgan Porter and Oliver Hodgson. The championship gap is now 9 points. Fifth for Brad Pennell in front of Derek Morgan. Turner does get in front of Lewis Malin at the flag. But post-race drama, the man who finished second on the road, Paul Stewart, is docked 10 seconds for a nose cone penalty. So Turney wins from Porter and Hodgson. Pennell is promoted to 4th from Morgan, Harvey, Turner, Malin, Hudson, and in the top 10, it is Saul Robinson.
Joe, reasonably comfortable victory for you in the end, just over 2 seconds, I think, but difficult conditions?
Yeah, very difficult, greasy conditions. It was dry for the pre-final and it was very close, and then in the final it rained and the team managed to nail the setup. So we were won fairly comfortable in the last one.
And who do you want to thank for your weekend?
The team done a great job. My parents, two-tone money, 130R performance as well, and Arrow helmets.
Well, Turney leads the championship, but that penalty for Paul Stewart gives Porter 2 more points. The gap is now only 7. We'll close out the action here at Rowrah with TKM Extreme.